Hey guys. Um, so excuse me, I'm still pretty exhausted to the point where I slept through my alarm this morning. But I actually came home from work after only doing half an hour of overtime. So I'm gonna take a nap on like that couch. No, this one right there. Whatever. That couch over there. I'm gonna go take a nap on it and I'm really looking forward to it. But in my job, I work in accounts payable and I love what I do. I love numbers. I love being in my own little world. There are times where I can just kind of do some mundane work and let my brain go. And I don't always let it go per se. I usually have music on or Audible or um, podcasts. Oh my goodness. Someday I'll make a list of podcasts for people. I've got some really good ones. And that's usually enough to kind of leave me in my own little world and people leave me alone. But today, I don't remember what made me think of it. And really, I never really know what makes me think of things. Um, but I was thinking about manipulation. And I don't know if it's just in my personality personally, or it's something I've acquired over time. But given the, I don't want to say circumstances, when pushed into a corner, I can be, I'm incredibly good at reading other people. And not in like a social kind of way. I'm really good at quickly finding their weak spot, using it if I have to, parading myself as, a personality type that they're expecting, and basically putting forth the personality that will in the end get me what I want, or need, or I feel obligated to. A little scary if I'm manic, but I think I've usually done it more in business areas, not at work per se. But yesterday I had a client that was trying to sue me, and even my mother called it a frivolous case. And I walked into that courtroom wearing heels, like I was the boss of the world, with more information than anybody could even touch me with. And was like this suddenly bold, brash, loudmouth human being, given that's usually my go-to. Pretty good at it, if you haven't noticed. And gave off this feeling like I knew exactly what was up and I was going to take care of shit. Which usually causes people to perk up like, oh, fuck. Well, she's on top of things. Now I'm going to have to be on top of things, which really is me getting what I want, because I hate having to wait around for other people, especially if it's something that can be taken care of quickly and painlessly. And for example, previously, one time when I was in Oak Harbor, we got a rental car. And the rental car, they charged me $200 unexpectedly. So my debit card was maxed out for the entire weekend, which meant I couldn't buy a plane ticket. I couldn't pitch in for gas, nothing. They had maxed out my card. And I didn't have my other card with me. So I called the car company, had their contract sitting in front of me, started off all smooth and sweet, like, hey, is there any way you guys can reverse this? And the guy on the other hand, no. Started getting attitude. Okay, I'm going to give you attitude right back. Here's the deal. I'm a local business owner. I know how to contact the Better Business Bureau. And frankly, I fly out here once every month or two, and you are losing business by not reading your contract, where it states that there is not a contract between me and the vendor. It is between me and you. Like, business lingo. Basically, they were responsible and had a loophole in their contract. But while I was doing it, Ben and Christopher were sitting next to me. And given this is something I'm fairly good at and do on a regular basis, because I know when somebody is going to be like, oh, yeah, and they'll work with you and it'll be cool, calm, collected, let's get it done. Or when somebody automatically assumes that since I don't have a penis, I don't know what I'm talking about. And Okay, you want to play that game? I will play that game. But I knew with the way that this company was run, it was run poorly. It already had poor records. It probably could have been cited for investigation. Yeah, I think the car was like $25 a day though, so we sucked it up. But I realized as I have, Ben and Christopher sitting next to me, it's got to be scary to hear me like this. It's not me. It's not my day-to-day personality. And circling back around, not that I have multiple personalities. Multiple personalities isn't my thing. I'm just me with, a lot of interesting sides. But I have different fronts that I give different people. I've always told boyfriends that I am the girl you can take home to your mother and can look cute and pristine and like she came directly from church. And then you can take me in the closet and we'll go make out and nobody will know. I'm using the word make out as a gentle word. And that's me. Every guy I've dated, parents have loved me because I can come off as sweet and innocent and, say please and thank you and always make sure to bring a bottle of wine or baked good when you go visit somebody, etc., etc. Yes, that's me. But at the same time, if I go out with my friends or with somebody else, I'm a completely different personality. Now, is that being manipulative towards, these people who are expecting me to be sweet, pristine Emily who never swears and has never had a cigarette and hasn't been trying to quit smoking for like 5 years and, never found herself drunk on somebody's front lawn ever. A lot of secrets are probably going to come out in these videos, but I'm enjoying it. And all the people that I get in trouble with live more than an hour away. So if they wanted to do anything to me, they'd probably get bored halfway here. And at the same time, like, okay, alcoholics and people who can't control their alcohol consumption, they're not necessarily alcoholics. People that think they have a right to get drunk when they shouldn't be. When it starts affecting their lives, the general drinking too much population pisses me off to no end. Now that's probably from history, because I've lived with too many dudes. Where if nobody knows, I'm in Wisconsin. This is like the drinking capital of the world. I could outdrink middle-aged men when I moved to Arizona at the age of 18. Like I'd be on beer number 6 and they'd be flat out on the floor after 2. I'm like, wow, you're a lush. I'm still sober. But that's the not community. That's the lifestyle where I live. Drinking is a fairly common thing. But I have no patience for alcoholics or people who drink too much. I've dealt with it just too much. I know exactly what's going to happen. I know exactly what I'm not going to do. And yeah, I'll make sure you climb on a couch and make sure you're sleeping sideways so you don't choke on your own vomit. But beyond that, no, it's still your responsibility to do what you need to do and keep your life in order and everything like that. And that's a whole nother personality too. Like I will be the dictator that will make your, sorry, I'm going to swear. I just can't not swear. I'm going to make your ass get up, go take care of your shit. I don't care if you're hungover. If you didn't want to be hungover, you should have thought of that about 8 hours ago. Same thing, like when they pass out, trust me, I've seen more than my share of people pass out drunk. Not that I can be discounted, but same thing. Like, as I said, you fall asleep in the front yard, great. If you're lucky, I'll grab you a blanket, but I'm going to leave you there. And You deal with the cops when they realize you're not wearing any pants. And that's a whole nother personality side. I am sure at least half of the people I know have never seen that side, would never expect that out of me, wouldn't know that I have, would never know that I've been within, a couple of inches of a coke dealer that was so blackout incoherent that he was running around trying to stab people with a chef knife. That's is what it is. So I guess I'm kind of getting off this tangent. But it kind of boils, well, it doesn't even boil down to it. It's the thought process. We're going to go with this as an unorganized podcast or YouTube video, whatever. It's an unorganized video. But how much of my mental health has created my personality? The manipulation and the capability of seeing directly through people to find their weak spot. Is that because I have spent so much time guarding myself and keeping my alternative lifestyle that I will put off whatever personality? And if somebody tries to change or I guess in the past, if somebody had tried to change my mind or try and stop me to do something, well, the quickest way to get them to disappear is find their weak spot and cause them to hightail it out. Is it healthy? No. And it's not nearly as bad. I'm more upfront with who I am these days and, take it or leave it. Trust me, it's way less drama that way. Because when you get in one group of friends that expects you to be one way and then they collide with another group of friends that expects you to be a completely different way, you have to hop personalities back and forth. It's very difficult. But again, I wonder, and I'm slightly concerned at how many people have I taken down. That's the only words I can come up with, because I get vicious when I don't feel that I'm in the wrong. I have no problem throwing around words. I know exactly where you're weak. I find them. Don't even ask me how I know. But I will find them. I will corner you with them. I will threaten you with them. And either it's going to be my way or no, it's going to be my way. And I really hope that I haven't hurt that many people by doing this nasty little trick. Even, I guess I don't even really have many examples, but how much has been developing over my 33-year life. I mean, I was pretty cute and innocent when I was little. I looked like a boy, but that's besides the point. I was fairly cute and innocent through junior high, most of high school. I think my senior year, I cracked like a freaking egg, and that's when all the stuff came out. And a lot of my parents conveniently don't remember. It's pretty awesome. But, I mean, shortly after that, I went to culinary school. After culinary school, I moved to Seattle. That's where I was diagnosed with bipolar the first time. After that, I went to, where did I go after that? I went back to mom's house. And that's where a lot of really nasty manipulation continued. In fact, I realized that one of my exes, who is a sweetheart, and I will always hold near and dear to me, Brandon, shout out. I manipulated the living crap out of him, to the point where he bought me a house while I was at culinary school, and that's the most thoughtful thing that he possibly could have done. And to the point where when I did come back, his friend cornered me at one point and basically said, if you're going to make him a boy toy, knock it off. I will take you out. I was like, no, I would never do that. Again, putting forward the face that I think will save my own butt. In reality, I was manic and out of control. And I didn't realize it. I was drinking myself stupid on a regular basis. I was taking pills that I didn't want to take. I was blacking out. I was all over the place. And as I said, Brandon will always have a special spot in my heart because he really is a wonderful guy. But I can guarantee you I hurt him terribly. And I mean, yeah, I was manic. I guess that's the first really big, terrible thing that I can remember that I've done. I'm sure there's been worse, but I broke his heart for my own personal benefit. I've realized it for years and I've regretted it for years. And I did stop to visit him last fall, I think, because he lives in Stevens Point. And we had a great conversation. And, it was really nice to catch up. And, we still get along great. There's no hard feelings. But I did break his heart, and I knew it. And at that time, I don't want to say I didn't care, because I did. As I said, Brandon will always be, props, kudos. But at the time, I was so focused on what my brain was demanding that it didn't matter who I was bulldozing through to get at it. With Brandon, it was primarily sex. I need to learn to be more open about that. Hell, Europe, they talk about sex as a daily conversation over the dinner table. United States, you can't even, breastfeed a baby in your house without getting arrested. And that, again, it causes me to start thinking of different memories and different times and go, oh, sorry. Which is all the more reason to keep up with the counseling and to keep up with the medication and to keep going with these videos, because these videos are actually becoming kind of entertaining for me and they're good to look back on. And I don't know, I guess I'm wondering if anybody else has had kind of a similar situation or felt that they've done something in their past or felt like maybe their personality has been designed around this mental disorder instead of the other way around. We may be one person, but oh, the dog's going after a squirrel again. I'll have to go grab her. I mentioned in one of my previous podcasts, we are not the disease. We are not bipolar. We have bipolar, or we have PTSD, or we have whatever. And it really is just kind of a thoughtful point. Like, does anybody else question how much of their life has been the real, true side of us? Or has the mental disorder, whatever, seeped in and started taking control of some of our personality sides and trained us to do different things and trained us to think certain ways and expect certain things? Again, I was diagnosed when I was 20. I can think of multiple situations where I did things I shouldn't for my own benefit, as I've said redundantly now. And I don't want to feel alone. That being said, I'm not expecting anybody else to be my crutch. Like, oh, no, not poor Emily. That's not what this is. But I really am curious as to some other people's thoughts. Do you think that, the chicken versus the egg, which came first, your personality or your mental disorder? It could rotate around and around and around. And I don't know. I don't have an answer. I don't. So I will say, shoot me a comment underneath. Let me know what your theory is on this. I enjoy a good discussion. I think a good intellectual discussion with fine points and a lack of, well, your face is ugly type comments is actually really good. It's really healthy to give you the opportunity to look at things from every perspective. And I think it's an important part of being an adult and a human being is looking outside our tiny little bubbles. So shoot me a message. What do you think? What do you think in your past or your present or your future has been altered for you personally on the inside? We know that we have the symptoms and we have the bad night and we have and we get panicked over this and we freak out over that and we've got X, Y, and Z, but that's separate. That's the mental health side. Where do the mental health and the personality coincide? Okay, I could keep rambling for days. There was something else I was going to say. I don't remember, so it must not be that important. But the good news is I'll be able to post some of these either tomorrow or Saturday and kind of get this going. And if anybody wants to come on and have a conversation, I know I've got at least a handful of friends out there that have had their own stories and maybe you'd like to share. Shoot me a message. As I said, this is like super therapeutic for me. And I'm enjoying. Do you see this smile? Oh, that's what I was going to say. In the near future, looking into maybe some different things, different options for other people, I'm going to be trying some different types of counseling and whatnot. My counselor, I will say it to the moon and back, is a godsend. She's great. We will be starting into EMDR, which I don't know the translation, but it's the act of, as I said in a previous video, taking those memories and getting them out there, processing them. You shoved them in the back of your head for a reason. Now you need to get them out and let them go. And that's a whole process within itself. It involves eye movement and, having safe spots ready to go and having ways to like comfort zones so you can, bring yourself back to reality, so to speak. And I think it'd be awesome to maybe be able to share some of that because my compartmentalizing is deep and it's ugly. We accidentally went too far on like a trial session about 9 months ago and I couldn't even drive myself home. For reasons that I couldn't even understand. My whole body just became very emotional and overwhelmed. And I was processing emotions that had been compartmentalized for probably 2 decades easily. So I'd love to be able to touch on that in the future. And some of the exercises that Heidi and I do, I found really kind of handy. I'd be okay with mentioning some of that. I don't know. My mom reminded me last night when I asked if she wanted to come tell my story from the mom's perspective, and she looked at me like I was nuts, that I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I am not licensed. I am not certified. I don't know a goddamn thing. And I'm going to have to put that on the YouTube thing, but I'm just a human being. Now, if you want to talk about, accounting stuff and photography, shoot me a message, but don't think that I have the answer to anything. This is just my adventure. It's going to be a really long adventure. This is what I'm doing. This is where I am and how I'm feeling and how I see things and, how I process things. And as I said, I want to be able to share my really weird comings and goings with my incredibly messy house with whoever else feels like they could use a friend. I don't care if you're here. I don't care if you're in Norway. Sometimes we just need that reassurance that we're not alone. So, again, quick synopsis, because I'm terrible at keeping my brain organized. Shoot me your thoughts on personality versus mental illness and where they coincide and where they overlay each other and all of this stuff. And yeah, as I go through different types of counseling, because it's not going to be just one thing for me. My PTSD is deep. My anxiety is over the most, it's a fairly good list, and I've got to get over that. Ava, getting her trained potentially as a PTSD dog. That's a whole adventure that, trust me, I will be happy to cover because it will be, no matter whether I'm in Wisconsin or Washington, wherever I end up, it will be at least a year of training, getting her to where she needs to be, getting me where I need to be. I watched Angela and Echo, who are dear friends of mine, go through their process, and it was long, and it was intense. That's what I'm expecting for Ava. Trust me, she needs it. So, I'll come back with whatever I have. I think I'm supposed to have an appointment tonight, but I can't reach her because I don't have my phone. Let me know what you want to hear about. Let me know your thoughts. Give me your opinions. What topics do you want to discuss? Who wants to come talk to me? Rambling for, well, I'm now at a whopping 24 minutes. Let's make this a community. It's not all about me, even though everybody else will tell you otherwise because I'm a self-centered brat. Yeah, I kind of accepted it. Other people have adventures too. They have different perspectives, as I've said multiple times before, and as I said, I'm getting kind of redundant. I'm even redundant in my redundancy. Everybody's different. Everybody has a different perspective. Everybody has different experiences, different processes. Right now, I'm only able to share mine. And my dog is doing something silly. So on that note, I'm going to take one heck of a nap. It's 6:30. I'm napping. But I'll post these as soon as I can. Give me some feedback. I love the fact that you guys are here and listening. Step 1, right? Okay, we'll talk to you later.